Hi, thank you for joining me for another tech tutorial. So this week I'm going to be doing a Microsoft Teams walkthrough. Hopefully you're familiar with Microsoft Teams already, or at least what it does. I won't be getting into that into this particular video. What I'm going to be doing is showing you just a walkthrough of the different areas of Microsoft Teams. I'm going to talk about what's possible with Teams. And we're going to do just two basic things before we end this video, and that is create a team and create a meeting. That's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So I have a brand new installation of Microsoft Teams here. I just loaded sample data, created the account. That was it. So that's what we're seeing here on the screen. So I'm just going to walk through these very quickly. All right, so this is my brand new Teams installation. This is here telling me that if I want to install it on my mobile phone, I could do that. I already have it installed, so I'll ignore that. So the very first thing that I like to do in Teams is to actually do some configurations. So I'll click on the icon to the far right that has my initials, and typically you'll see your initials once your account is set up. So first name, last name is what you'll see. So I'm just gonna click here and go to settings. And this is just showing me things like customizing the interface, privacy, notifications, and some other things. I'm just gonna show you one key thing really. One is this application section here. Be sure you're mindful of these settings. So let's say you want to auto start Teams every time your machine boots up, you can choose that. You can choose if you close the application that it will keep running in the background. That's something that you may want to determine. And the next thing are the notifications. Now you definitely want to customize this, because when you join a team, you may just be getting a lot of notifications every time a message is sent in the Teams that you're in, or a chat. It may pop up and be very disruptive. So you want to just, check on these, see if it's settings that you're comfortable with. So, oh, hey Duran, thanks for stopping by. So you want to at least customize these here. So you can just kind of set those to your liking. I'll actually go deeper into notifications at another time, but these are the two areas that I wanted to bring your attention to. So to the left now we have some tabs that we can access to make our way around Teams. So the activity feed is where you would see anything that relates to you, whether it be a team or a message or a meeting or anything like that. You could see, well, any activity. And since this is a brand new installation, we're not going to see much here, but in subsequent videos, you'll see this start to populate as I use the same installation, right? The chat is where we go to have conversations with persons within our org. So what you would do is just search for the name of a person. So I would have to, be sure who is in my organization first, and I can type a name. So I'm going to select Joni to send a message. So I'm just going to say, hi, Joni. And then now Joni on the other side can respond. So since this is sample data, we're not going to be able to have a conversation. That's normal, but I just wanted you to see how we could access that there. Then next we have the Teams, which is one of the places you're going to be spending a lot of time. So at the end of this session, I'm going to create a team, but for now I'll just go through the other areas. Next we have the calendar, which will integrate with Outlook. So once you set a meeting here or set a meeting in Outlook, it will reflect on this calendar. So we see here to the right, we can set a new meeting. If I click the drop down arrow beside new meeting, I'll be able to schedule a live event as well. And we'll cover this in depth when I go through the meetings, how to do meetings within Microsoft Teams. I could also click Meet Now, which will give me the option to start what we call an impromptu meeting. So you do have that option as well. And of course, my calendar is completely bare because this is a brand new installation. Next, we have calls. So you can use this in a couple of ways. So you have the ability here to just go to calls to set up, if you think of like a, as I said here, a speed dial list. So you could have when Teams sees that you've spoken to a number of persons, your frequent contacts, it will have them here automatically, and you can customize that group. You could also have Teams configured with a PSTN setup, and then you'll be able to call numbers directly. I'll get into that another time as well. Files would be now any files I have on my PC, any files that have been downloaded or anything like that would show on this screen. And we have some 3 dots here that will give me the ability to add applications. So if I wanted to add OneNote or a planner, I could do that. Poly is a good app to be able to do surveys. You could also use Microsoft Forms. So you do have the option to add additional applications, and I'll just click more apps. So you could see what that looks like. So you can search for apps here. You can also build an app. And I'm just gonna scroll through for you to see just some of the apps that are available. Some of the ones that I use a lot personally would be Planner, would be Power BI, would be Excel. I've added Wikipedia pages as well, things like that. And that's pretty much it for the walkthrough. So I'm going to go through and create a team now. So I'm going to click on create team. So I have 2 options here. I can form a team from a group, and we also see templates here below. So if I click on one of these templates, it will have some basic settings in place or naming conventions in place based on the template. I'll just do from scratch for now. We do have the option to make it private, and private just means you need to give permission for persons to be able to join, whether they're in your organization or outside. Public means somebody can see it on their list of teams when they go to join, and they do have the option to join the team. And then org-wide means that everybody within your organization is pulled in by default. So I'll choose public. I'll give it a name. I'll call it tutorials. I'll click create, and that is pretty much it. Your team has been created. From here, we do have the option to add a member. So we can, let's say let me try Joni again. Click on Joni, I'll click add. And what you will see by default is that Joni is now a member. So there are 2 options when you add members to a team. You have member and you have owner. Owner will have certain privileges that members won't have. So I'll get into that another time. I'll click close. And so this team has been created. We have what's called a general channel that's added by default. I do have the option to create more channels or add more persons on this default screen here. And a channel, for those who are unaware, is simply, think of it as specific areas that you'd want to discuss within that team. So for example, if I wanted to have a section just on, documentation, so I have some persons who I'm going to be working on documentation for my tutorials with, and that's the focus of this discussion. I could do that. If I had a number of trainers, persons who are going to co-present with me, I can add a channel just for presenters, and I could actually add specific persons to this channel and still all within a member of that team. I could make this channel and just go back there. Okay, I think I lost my train of thought as to what I would want to do. Okay, yes, all right. So I'm going to create a third one that's called webinars. And this is what I was trying to show, the ability to make a channel private. So what this means is that I would have to, so even though persons can be a member of the team for this particular channel, I would have to then give them permission to join that as well. So I could have this webinars channel private. And so that's why it has a lock that you're seeing right there. So you can be within a team and not be included within a channel, right? So I think that's it pretty much for the team that I want to create. I want to have just a notice for persons who are going to be joining this team at a later date. So I'll just put a notice that says welcome. So I'll say thanks for being a part of this community. Make yourself at home. And I'll post this message so that everyone who now joins this team at a later date can see this message. And I do have the option to just leave it here. And yeah, that's all I want to do for now. So when persons join this team, they'll see this message, and you know, that's all we would need to do for now. So I'm gonna go to calendar because I'm planning to onboard some more persons in a few days, and I want to be able to set a meeting. So I'm gonna click on new meeting. And what I'm gonna do is set it, you know, specifically for the general channel. I'm gonna call it orientation. And I'm going to set it for, what's a good time to meet? 1 o'clock should be good. This will cover orientation. I'm gonna send it. And so it appears in my calendar. I'm just gonna wait for it to, I'm seeing it loading there. Let me just check the team real quick to see if it is there. Okay, so here it is. So it's set, it shows the name of the meeting and the time of the meeting. So persons can actually, if you're a member of the team, you'll see this meeting pop up once the meeting starts. You'll actually see the meeting icon there, and you can click to join the meeting from within the team. So that is pretty much it that I wanted to cover for this particular tutorial. In the next one, I'm just going to expand into some different areas of using Microsoft Teams. So we're going to get a little bit more granular into managing teams and channels. We're going to, you know, look at the chat option a little bit more. We're going to look at the differences between, you know, when you create a team versus just having a chat. We're going to look at creating chat groups as well, as opposed to creating teams. And then I'll maybe go over some other configurations that I think may be noteworthy. So I want to thank you so much for checking out this tutorial. It was really meant to just be a quick introduction to Microsoft Teams. Let me know if you have any questions below this video, wherever it is you're watching it, and I'll try to cover it in future videos. Thank you.